Welcome back, learners. I am so excited to bring you today's lesson. So, set your mind, ready your heart, and brace yourselves, for we will take the journey to discover the week 3 of reading and writing skills. The paragraph is an important tool for writing, as it allows an author to communicate their ideas clearly and concisely. There are several patterns of paragraph development that can be used to achieve this goal, such as comparison and contrast, cause and effect. Each of these patterns has its own structure and goal, and knowing the differences between them can help an author write paragraphs that are well thought out. In this lesson, we will focus on comparing and contrasting patterns of written text across disciplines, specifically comparison and contrast, cause and effect. For today's discussion, we will focus on comparison and contrast of paragraph writing, cause and effect of paragraph writing, and different transitional devices. This time, can you define comparison and contrast using the following terminologies? Comparison and contrast paragraph. This explains how similar, comparing, or different, contrasting, the two subjects are being described or discussed. This pattern helps highlight specific qualities and conditions and offers a clear understanding of two subjects. The Venn diagram is the most commonly used graphic organizers for comparing and contrasting. In addition, comparison and contrast are essential elements of paragraph development. They allow writers to examine the similarities and differences between two or more ideas, objects, or experiences. Comparison and contrast create a deeper understanding of a topic by providing readers with a comprehensive look at the various aspects of it. By examining both similarities and differences, readers can gain a better understanding of the complexities of the subject matter. This type of analysis can help readers form a more informed opinion on the topic and make more informed decisions. Alright, so in the Venn diagram, according to Kenton of 2020, now this Venn diagram uses two overlapping circles to visually represent the similarities and differences of two objects. Now, as you can see from our example, assuming that you were asked by your teacher to compare your lifestyle in the year 2019 and in the year 2020. Now, using a Venn diagram, you will write the differences of your lifestyle in the year 2019 and in 2020. At the center of it will be the similarities. Now, using the ideas above, we're going to compose them into sentences. Example. Now, the differences in the year 2019, we are free to go anywhere. We can go out without wearing face mask, face shield, and other forms of protective gears. Meanwhile, in the year 2020, COVID came and curfew is imposed. Also in this year, we are afraid to go out because of COVID-19. Also, alcohol, face mask, and face shield are important anywhere we go. Now, for our similarities, so as I made mention a while ago, it should be in the center or in the middle. I exercise and eat healthy foods. I choose to study, which you usually do during those years, 2019 and 2020. Here are some signal words for comparing, or signal words or transitional devices for comparing. We have also, equally, in the same way, similarly, as, in a similar fashion, like, to compare, both in comparison and likewise. Here are some signal words or transitional words for contrasting. Although, despite, instead, otherwise, and yet, even so, however, still, as opposed to, even though, nevertheless, the fact remains, but in contrast, nonetheless, unlike, conversely, in spite of, on the contrary, whereas, counter to, in the meantime, on the other hand, and yet. Out from the Venn diagram a while ago about COVID-19 during 2019 and 2020 experience, I crafted a paragraph of comparison and contrast which also uses the different transitional devices and their comparing and contrasting. So here is the paragraph. It feels nostalgic when we recall how free and happy we were before COVID-19 happened. Each of us can go out without wearing any protective gear like face masks and face shields. Every smile and happy face can be seen because they are not covered. Then COVID-19 came. In contrast to the positive experience of 2019, the year 2020 brought us negative feelings such as a fear of COVID-19. All of us start to buy and use protective gear that we are not used to wearing. Back then, what we had in our bags were only things like phones, wallets, and notes. Yet, alcohol became important to all of us and became part of our daily needs, always with us and in our bags. We may say that 2020 may have been unpleasant, but still, let us continue eating healthy foods, exercising, and taking our vitamins. Now let's move on to our activity number 2. On your formal theme, write a paragraph focusing on the similarities and differences of old and new St. Peter and Paul Cathedral of Calbayog City. Can you define cause and effect using the following terminologies? According to Gabello, cause and effect it is used when you are explaining why something happened or is happening. You are also demonstrating how one thing affects another. You know what? In the cause and effect, it is a very important part of writing and any type of paragraph because it helps to create a logical flow of ideas that a reader can follow, which is essential for understanding the argument being made. And cause and effect can be used to really explain why a certain event happened or why a particular action was taken. It can also be used to draw conclusions based on evidence presented and explain the consequences of certain actions. By understanding the various causes and effects of a particular event, situation, or action, writers can create a coherent and persuasive argument. Now let's move on to the Ishikawa diagram or the fishbone diagram. Now the Ishikawa diagram, also referred to as a fishbone diagram, is the most effective visual representation of causes and effects. And it also known as a fishbone diagram because of its shape. Now the fish head represents the main problem. The potential causes of the problem, usually derived from brainstorming sessions or research, are indicated in the fishbones of the diagram. A fishbone diagram is a visual tool used to identify possible causes for an identified problem or effect. Now, it is also known as Ishikawa diagram after its creator Kaoru Ishikawa. Now, it is a type of cause and effect diagram that is used to identify different factors that contribute to a specific problem. The diagram is made up of central spine, okay, and a series of branches in it extended from it. Now, each branch represents potential cause of the problem, while the spine represents the problem or the effect. Now, the branches are labeled with different categories of potential causes, such as people, processes, materials, and the environment. Now, by analyzing the cause categories, teams can identify the root cause of a problem and brainstorm solutions. Now, fishbone diagrams are useful for both root cause analysis and problem solving. When you use the Ishikawa diagram or the fishbone diagram, you really need to follow some rules. One of it is to think of your problem, which is also known as your effect. Now, this will be placed at the mouth of the fish. You need also to be as clear as specific as you can about the problem. Then, you will enumerate the main categories that cause the problem. Also, you need to brainstorm all the possible causes. Think about the reasons why such things exist or happen, and continue until you reach the deeper level of causes. Or you run out of ideas, just make sure that each subpoint really belongs to the correct main topic. Here are some signal words or transitional devices used for cause paragraph. As, for, in view of the fact, owing to the fact, because of the fact, for the reason that, inasmuch as, seeing that, being that, in that, one reason, since, due to the fact. Meanwhile, here are some signal words for effect paragraph. Accordingly, consequently, in consequence, so that, as a consequence, for that reason, so, therefore, as a result of this, hence, so much, so that, thus, because of this, because.
Letting alcohol take control of your life has many adverse effects on a person and the people around them. One important effect is the damage to one's body. Drinking can lead to severe illness and even death. Some health consequences to consider might be liver disease, kidney failure, and, for pregnant women, the loss of their unborn child. Another detriment is that an addiction to drinking may cause a fatal car accident for either yourself or an innocent bystander. Another concern to consider is the relationships that alcohol can destroy. Alcohol abuse can have a far-reaching effect on a person's temperament, which can lead to spousal and even child abuse. Alcohol is often the #1 reason for divorce and spending time in jail. It can also have an impact on relationships outside of the family. Many people have lost lifelong friends as a result of foolish arguments and behaviors, or even death. Finally, drinking lowers self-esteem because it causes people to behave or act in ways they would not normally do. When they become reliant on getting that alcohol high, they have little or no regard for the consequences of what is said or done. The negative effects of alcohol abuse are overwhelming when considering the many consequences that drinkers and those around them have to deal with.
For our activity number 3, on your formal theme, using your fishbone diagram, write a paragraph about the cause and effect relationship of failing to follow health protocols. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.